This is going to be a long one. Hello BookTube! So today I am going to be going through all of the books that I bought in the month of January. There are a lot. There are 48 to be exact. Luckily for you though, you don't have to sit through all 48 because I have actually done 2 other videos that include some of these books. They are my charity shop book haul, which I will link up there, and the other books that I bought this month were the books that I was using for Polathon, which is a readathon that I am participating in the first week of February from the 3rd to the 9th. So if you're interested to see what books I'm reading for that, then I will also link my Polathon TBR for you. So that takes away a good chunk of some of the books, and the rest I will show you today. So most of these books I got from Amazon and Waterstones, and then I think a couple that I was gifted. So without further ado, let's get into it, because like I said, it's gonna be a long one. So the first book that I acquired this month is The Night Country by Melissa Albert. This one I have read, and if you wanted to see my review on it, it is in my January wrap up, which I will also link. This book I pre-ordered from Waterstones as it is the sequel to a book that I read in 2019, which was The Hazelwood. The next book that I picked up in January was another pre-order, and that is A Heart So Fierce and Broken by Bridget Kemmerer. This is the second book in the Cursebreaker series. This follows A Curse So Dark and Lonely, sorry. So this one was released in January. I pre-ordered it from Amazon. I have not picked it up yet. The next book I picked up from Amazon, and that is Cinder by Marissa Meyer. This one was on my wish list and I picked it up because it was reduced down to £2 and I couldn't not pick it up. I loved Marissa Meyer's book Heartless, so I wanted to read some other things from her. I'm not too keen on the plot. A lot of people read this when I was at school and I thought it looked so tacky and childish, so I didn't pick it up. But now that I've read some stuff from Marissa Meyer and I like her writing, I wanted to pick this up. After I picked this up, I realised that it was £2 because they're actually having a cover change. So I'm hoping that the other books get discounted before the covers change so I can pick those up. Fingers crossed. But yeah, so this was only £2, brand new, so I couldn't not pick it up. The next book I picked up was again from Amazon, and this was secondhand, and it is I'll Give You the Sun by Jandy Nelson. The quality is actually atrocious, but I only paid a couple of quid for it and I'm not intending on keeping it because it's bright yellow and it doesn't fit my bookshelf aesthetic. So I'm probably gonna get rid of this after I've read it, but it was one of those books that I wanted to read because I've heard some really great things about it. Looking back, I actually kind of wish that I hadn't read it because it's not my kind of book and I don't want to spend money on books just because people tell me they're good if I personally don't think I'm going to enjoy them because they're not my kind of book. The next book I picked up from Amazon is 5 Feet Apart by Rachel Lippincott and Mickey Daughtry and Tobias Iaconis. Sorry if I pronounced that wrong. This book I picked up because I really want to watch the film, not gonna lie. But I wanted to read the book first. I did actually own this book years ago, never got round to reading it and just got rid of it when I moved out. But yeah, I've bought it again and I'm hoping to read it in February. Fingers crossed again. Yeah. The next book that I picked up in January is One of Us is Lying by Karen M. McManus. This book I got from Amazon. It's got sprayed edges. It actually looks really cool. I've heard lots of mixed reviews on this, but it is one that I really wanted to read. It's sort of like The Breakfast Club meets murder, and yeah, I'm really excited to read this and see what it's about. And a sequel has also just come out, so hopefully if I like that, I'll pick up the sequel. This book I picked up from Amazon, and if I'd known that this was the cover that was going to arrive, I would not have ordered it. I am a massive cover snob and I don't like books that have the cover from the films. So the book that I picked up was Paper Towns by John Green. I thought the cover that I'd ordered was the one with the map and the little pin in it, but this is what arrived. So I won't be keeping this. I'll probably read it and get rid of it. But then again, John Green books don't, again, fit my bookshelf aesthetic. I am a snob when it comes to covers. I like my bookshelf to look very matchy, and I have a very specific type of cover that I like, and yeah. I am actually saving up for a Kindle or an e-reader so that I can have books that I don't like the cover of without having to physically own, don't even come at me for being a snob, okay? There are just some covers that I don't like. I don't want them on my bookshelf, but I still want to give the book a chance. So I will be buying them on Kindle, and this is probably one of the books that I would have bought on Kindle because I hate it. I hate film covers on books. But yeah, this is Paper Towns by John Green. This book is... I've just realised half the books that I've picked up I haven't actually like talked about what they were about. But this book is about a guy who meets a girl and then the girl goes missing and he goes looking for her, as far as I'm aware. Again, this is a book that I've wanted to read for a very long time. And yeah, I'm only just getting around to doing it. The next book I picked up, I am really, really excited to read. I've heard amazing things about this book, and it is The Silent Patient by Alex Michaelides. This book has received a lot of hype last year. It was one of the books of the year. It was also one of the Goodreads books of the year. I cannot wait to read this. I really can't. This book is about a woman who murders her husband and then doesn't say anything. And I think she's in a psychiatric hospital, I believe. And this book follows the doctor who is trying to solve why she shot her husband, but she doesn't talk. She is a silent patient. And I don't know, I'm so intrigued to read more and find out more about this book. Yeah, I think this is going to be great. The next book I got was actually gifted to me by the lovely Chloe from Chloe Reads Books. And she sent me Looking for Alaska. She saw that this was on my Amazon wish list and said that she had a copy that she was looking to unhaul and would I like it. So if you did not know, Looking for Alaska is one of my favourite books. I have read it before multiple times and I loved it. I lent my copy to someone and never got it back. And I wanted to rebuy it because I needed to own it. It is a book that I love. I absolutely love this book. And when Chloe reached out to me, oh, it was so kind of her. This is a book that I love. So Looking for Alaska follows a boy named Miles. This is a John Green book, by the way. It follows a boy named Miles who falls in love / is infatuated with this girl called Alaska, and it follows them. It is one of my top 5 favourite books in the world. The next book that I bought was a book that I bought from Waterstones as a gift to myself when I got my new job, and that is Wicked Like a Wildfire by Lena Popovic. This book, admittedly, initially picked up because of the beautiful cover. It is beautiful, unbelievably beautiful, and then I read the blurb and I liked it even more. And I'll read it to you because I can't remember what it's about off the top of my head, but I am so excited to get around to this book. It's gorgeous. It's so me. All the women in Iris and Melina's family have the unique magical ability, or gleam, to manipulate beauty. Iris sees flowers as fractals and turns her kaleidoscope visions into glasswork, while Melina interprets moods as music. But their mother has forbidden Iris and Melina to share their magic with anyone, and above all, to fall in love. But when their mother is attacked and left hovering between life and death, the sisters unearth an ancient curse that binds their fates and hearts to a force larger than life. To save each other, they must untangle 1,000 years of lies and secrets. Lana Popovic's sumptuous debut is the first book in a bewitching duology about the power of love, death and magic and the many faces of beauty. This is my kind of book. It's magic, it's got the most beautiful cover, it is so me, and I am so excited to get around to this, and it's a floppy book! They're my favourite kind of box. So yes, this was a gift to myself and I love it. The next book that I picked up for myself from Waterstones as a gift was The War of the Worlds by H.G. Wells. I loved this cover, and again, it's a floppy paperback. I love this. My family are kind of obsessed with The War of the Worlds. I don't entirely know why. My little brother is obsessed with it. He's only like 9 or something and he loves it. So I wanted to read it, and yeah, I just saw it in Waterstones and I just loved the cover. I just fell in love with it, and yeah, I needed to read it. So this was another gift to myself. The next book that I picked up in Waterstones as a gift for myself is The Lost Magician by Piers Torday. This is a middle grade book. Again, I was ensnared by the cover. It's so magical. Magical middle grades are my favourite books, and I will read you the blurb because I can't really remember what it's about. I know it's based in 1945 and it follows a group of children, but that's all I remember, so I will read you the blurb. If you can imagine it, it must exist somewhere. What is that philosophical argument where with the island to, is it Gornio's Perfect Island, where he said that God must exist because you can imagine an island or something? If you know what I'm on about, leave a comment down below. Philosophy. It is 1945. They have survived the Blitz. But when Simon, Patricia, Evelyn and Larry step through a mysterious library door, it is the beginning of their most dangerous adventure yet. They discover a magical world where the stories of the library are locked in an eternal war. The children's only hope is to search for the magician who created them, who has been lost for centuries. What they find will change not just their own lives, but the fate of the world forever. That just sounds so magical and fun. I am a sucker for war stories. I know that this isn't about the war, but books that are based and set around the Second World War, they just do something to my heart. So as soon as I read that this was like 1945, I was like, yep, I'm having it, this is mine. And then when I read the rest of the blurb, I was like, yep, this is me, I want this book. The next book that I picked up from Waterstones was a book that was on my Amazon wishlist, and I just decided to pick it up in person, and that is The Price Guide to the Occult by Leslie Walton. Look at this cover. Oh, it's so beautiful. So this book, I'm not entirely sure, but it's about witchcraft, and a girl finds a book, and I think the book's written by her mother or something. It's about witches and books, and I'm game. I'm always game for a witchy book. So my vibe. So yeah, I was so excited to pick this one up. As I mentioned earlier, I am a sucker for a book with mental health rep, so I picked up On a Scale of 1 to 10 by Kaylin Scott, I'm not sure how to pronounce that. This book is about depression, and I'm really intrigued to see how it's represented. I am always looking out for mental health rep books. If you have any that you recommend, let me know down below. But this is a book that I am quite interested to read, and I will definitely let you know what I think when I have finished it. The next book I picked up from Amazon, and that is Tuck Everlasting by Natalie Babbitt. This is one of my favourite books of all time, and I wanted to pick up the library binding. So it's like hardcover kind of library binding, and this was like £9 when I added it to my wish list, and it dropped down to like £3.50, so I grabbed it while I could, and I'm really happy to have this. It is honestly one of my favourite books in the whole world. It has an incredibly special place in my heart. So this follows a young girl called Winnie who meets a boy and finds out that he is immortal due to water that they drink from a tree. And honestly, it is just so magical. Oh, I loved this book as a child. I love this book. So if you weren't aware, if you haven't seen my January TBR and my February my January wrap up, sorry, then you won't know that I have been falling in love with the Throne of Glass series. So I borrowed the first book from my boyfriend, and then I found the second book in a charity shop, and I didn't think I would finish them so quickly. So when I realised I didn't have the third book, I ordered it on Amazon and read it very fast. And I had the fourth book because I also picked that up in a charity shop, but then realised I didn't have the rest of the season, I always say that, series, and I needed them. So I bought Empire of Storms, I bought Tower of Dawn, I bought Kingdom of Ash, and I bought The Assassin's Blade. I'm honestly just in love with Sarah J Maas, and these books are beautiful, and I'm really glad that I own them. We're on the last 3 books, guys, I promise. I'm 28 minutes into filming, I have 3 books left, we're almost there. We're almost there. So the next 3 books are all middle grade books that I recently picked up off Amazon. They only arrived the other day. And the first one is Nevermore by Jessica Townsend. Everyone has been talking about this book, everyone, and I needed to get my hands on it just to know what everyone has been talking about and what the hype is about. Next, I picked up Never Tell. This is the February middle grade monthly read. If you don't know what middle grade monthly is, I will link everything down below. But it is a monthly reading club ran by Gavin and Jade, who are 2 of my favourite booktubers. And I picked it up just in case I have time to get round to it and want to join in. But also just because any book that they recommend, I'm gonna buy. So I bought it. And the last book, speaking of buying anything that they recommend, is A Pinch of Magic by Michelle Harrison. This is a book that Gavin talks about quite a lot and has recommended it. And the second book has just come out and he has actually mentioned in like the mentions, dedications, notice, acknowledgement-y bit. And honestly, like, how cool is that? So I picked up the first one because I trust him. So yeah, I'm really excited to read these. So that is it. Not that that was not a lot. So I bought a lot of books in January. Actually, so I spent a total of £179.76 on books, which was 48 books overall. And I've only read 6% of those books so far. So I need to get a wiggle on and get reading a little bit more. And yeah, give this video a thumbs up. I'm sorry if I bored you, and if you made it to the end, then let's be best friends. And yeah, please subscribe, and I'll see you again in my next video. Bye! This is gonna be a pain to edit because it's so long. Bye!